let's say I found a great script, I'm ready to option it. Should I option it as me, Stacey Jorgensen, or should I create a company? And if so, what kind of company?
As much as I love Stacey Jorgensen,
Thank you.
I think that your company should be the one that options it.
Okay.
Entities are created for liability protection,
Great.
and anytime there's a chance that things might go south and you could be on the wrong end of a lawsuit, I want you from the very beginning of the project to be seen as that entity that has the liability protection.
Great. So there's so many different corporations, LLCs, DBAs, all these different initials that people might not know what they mean. I know you and I have worked together on multiple companies, from LLCs to corporations to S corps. So can you walk me through, if I'm filming a film in California versus filming a film somewhere else, what might be the most advantageous company to form?
Real simple. If you can be an S corp, be an S corp. If you can't be an S corp, be an LLC. If you have to be an LLC, don't be a California LLC. And if you're filming in New York, be a C corp.
Okay, now let's walk through what the benefit of each company is.
And I said that kind of as if that's the absolute route to go. There are exceptions and asterisks to everything, but it demonstrates that the choice of entity is not just cookie cutter. Well, all of my friends did LLCs, so I should be an LLC, and I'm just going to use some online, formation group to do it. You really should sit down with both an accountant and a lawyer to figure out what's right for your specific project. Maybe 80% of the time, LLCs are the way to go, but there are times when there are better vehicles to use that will make more money for you and protect you better. If you can be an S corp, and usually that's what loan out corporations are, just for the individual producer. We'll see a lot of S corps that are the managing member of an LLC.
Okay.
But the reason you don't see an S corp typically as the production entity is because there are a lot of restrictions on S corps. The benefit of a corporation is liability protection, like we talked about before, that if someone's going to sue you, you say, it's my entity, it ain't me. When you're creating your entity, you're giving birth to this liability baby. The whole reason you gave birth is so this child can take on all your liability. It's the exact opposite of actual parenting, the exact reverse.
You could marry a corporation.
Well, the Supreme Court is kind of headed there. I think that'll be the next question that they answer. They've already deemed a corporation to have the same rights as a person. So a C corp gives you liability protection.
Okay.
But you're taxed twice. Because we just created this separate liability baby, government says, well, wait, we just helped you recognize that this is a separate individual.
Right.
Individuals are taxed separately.
Right.
So your corporation's going to be taxed, and when that corporation gives you, from its profits, and when they give money to you in dividends, you get taxed too.
Right.
An S corp is taxed once.
It's a pass-through.
It's a pass-through. And you still have the liability protection.
Got it.
So that's why the first little part of my mantra was, if you can be, if you can be an S corp, be an S corp.
You can't be an S corp.
You get the liability protection, and you get the preferential tax treatment.
Okay.
But there are very rigid rules that need to be in place to become an S corp and to perpetually maintain that S corp status year after year. And think of S corp as a small corp.
Okay.
Even though it actually comes from subchapter S of the IRS code, but it's a small corp designed for very limited number of people that all have this common bond. There's just one class of stock, so they're all they might be taking in different proportions, but they're all taking equally.
Okay.
And the one of the major rules that prevents production companies from being S corps is the prohibition that S corps cannot have two classifications of stock.
So with productions.
And most productions say you have an investor share
right.
that has the priority. They get their money back plus, say, 10%.
Right.
And then after that has occurred, there's the producer's share. that will split 50-50.
Right.
So,
Two classes of stock.
Two classes of stock.
Investor, producer does not count as the same unless the
It's not
producer
one class of
is
stock.
the sole investor.
If you were just single-handedly bankrolling your film and you didn't need to have that preferential stock, then you could be an S corp. So if you see, if you're just one guy, it's my money and I'm the producer and I'm calling all the shots, you can be an S corp, and that's a great way to go.
Got it. Okay.
But for most of us that aren't that independently wealthy and able to bankroll our own films, we're going to be an LLC because we need two classes of stock, and we have to treat our investors to let them get their money back before we start to participate.
So what do you recommend with LLCs? I know you said not to be a California LLC. What are my options?
In 2014, California legislature passed a law that substantially renovated and redid all of the limited liability statutes here in the state. And there's an old adage, don't fix what ain't broke. The legislature sought to fix it, and they wound up breaking it. In fact, one of the things they did, the minute they passed the law, was they immediately put on the agenda for the assembly a cleanup bill to fix all the mistakes that they subsequently realized they had created in there.
Sounds efficient.
But it's probably going to take 3 or 4 years for that makeup bill to get through the legislature. So in this new law, they changed a lot of terms that people always kind of knew and understood in LLC lingo. And they changed some rules about different, getting waivers for conflicts of interest and the types of majority votes that have to occur with that. And a lot of little nitpicky stuff that a producer could unknowingly fall into some problems.
And unknowingly violate these new laws.
That's right. And maybe they're not really violating these laws. It's just, but because they're using new terms and they're crafting new rules, to fully understand what those mean, we need lawsuits to occur, and we need judges and case law to say, this is what this new term means.
And nobody wants to be the precedent-setting case.
I don't want my clients to be the precedent-setting
None
case.
of your clients will set a precedent.
So that's why the second part of the mantra, if you have to be an LLC, don't be a California LLC. At least not for the next 4 or 5 years until this all gets settled out and there's been some test cases not brought with any of your companies, but with the other people that are not seeing this video and do set up California LLCs.
So think of California LLCs like the first iPhone. Wait till generation 3 or 4.
Perfect.
Yeah?
Exactly.
Technology.
Exactly.
So how
Perfect
would I
analogy.
set it up? What states do you recommend, and
You
how
go, well,
do I do it?
You could set it up in the state in which you're going to film in, but you don't have to. I mean, there's no requirement that in order to take advantage of a tax credit or a tax rebate that you be organized in that state. You just have to register to do business in that state.
Got it.
But there are a couple, the most common places where people set up their corporations or their LLCs is Delaware and Nevada.
Okay.
Because there's no state tax, so there's very little extra administrative cost associated with having it there.
Okay.
And they're very user friendly. They've created a cottage industry where they want to encourage people from other states to set up their company there. They get the little, a couple $100 incorporation fee. They get the yearly statement of information fee that needs to be filed, and they have different companies that are in their state that are making money by serving as the agent of service of process and providing a principal place of business.
Okay.
And then they recognize that your main principal place of business is in another state. So you register there, and then you register again with the Secretary of State in California. So you're still going to pay the $800 minimum tax. You're not going to avoid anything there.
Getting around that. All right.
That's right. But you're going to be saying, I'm a Nevada LLC, and I'm simply playing by the rules and registering to do business in California. I'm a foreign entity, foreign from Nevada, coming in here, so I want to play in California. Here's my fees. But if anyone sues me, my members, we're all from Nevada. We're going back to Nevada. where they have the old tried and true LLC laws that everyone in all 49 other states understand
That it makes
and
sense.
interpret, and there's no going to be guinea pig.
Right.
You know, they're on the 7th, 8th, 9th generation iPhone
Right,
without
right.
going back. You know,
They've got the iPad,
Yeah.
the Mac. So that makes perfect sense then. So you want to be able to play here, and also the good thing is if someone is making another film in another state, you could pretty much film anywhere with those corporations as well, or those LLCs as well in other states.
you can film wherever you want, wherever you desire.
Great. So let's just assume that I am in California. I don't know anyone in Nevada. I don't know anyone in Delaware. How can I set that up in another state?
Just talk to your friendly neighborhood lawyer and they will arrange all of those things. So we always like to just check with the accountant, make sure they're in agreement. And then, a lawyer in California is capable of overseeing the process to where it's best to be set up.
Where would I get my mail?
You get your mail at your principal place of business in California.
Cool. So that's simple.
That's it. And the only thing that may not come to you is a lawsuit. The lawsuit's going to go to your agent that's in Nevada. No, not even me. There'll be you'll have a registered agent that will set up for you that gets all your official mail in Nevada, and there'll be mail that comes to your principal place as well for when it's time to refile the statement of information and things like that.
Awesome.